This episode is brought to you by our Patreon members. Sign up right now, patreon.com/VVC Life. And thank you to all of the patrons that have already signed up and are supporting us right now.
Real reviews, live and unapologetic. New episodes every Thursday at 8 at vvclife.com.
No ticket.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Wrong buttons, but right show. Real reviews on deck. I've got the all-star team of all-star reviewers on deck. To my immediate side, wait a minute, side here is my guy, Eddie Lingo.
What's up?
And of course, we would not be here if we weren't supported by the beautiful, capable queen, aka ruler of Puerto Rico, Queen Iris. It's on deck. It's on deck. So today we've got a crazy show, so much to talk about, so many things that everybody needs to be linked in on. Of course, we're going to talk about big, giant, stupid, crazy, big things that fall into the earth and then I've saved the world, but destroy it at the same time. Like, does it want to help us, not help us? I don't know. But there's a bunch of them. And there's two movies that we got to talk about. Cloverfield, obviously, is our throwback of the day. Juicy. From the time I used to manage a movie theater, I remember Cloverfield vividly. People running out of the theaters. Yeah. And obviously, modern day times is the Avengers of big monsters, gold fisted hands on deck. 2024 is a different world. So, without further ado, we can't get started talking about anything until we pay respect to the black. Let's go.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
All right. Who's taking over today? Iris, take it away.
So today, guys, I'm gonna take it down a notch. I want to give a shout out to the great Louis Gossett Jr. Yes, applause. My man here was born in New York back in 1936. He made his stage debut at the age of 17. 17, y'all. Shortly after that, he successfully auditioned for the Broadway play Take a Giant Step. In 1983, he was the first Black male actor to win an Oscar in the supporting role for An Officer and a Gentleman, which, if I may add, is one of my favorite movies. Overall, he has a total of 19 awards and 28 nominations. And unfortunately, he passed away recently on March 29th of this year at the age of 87 in Santa Monica, California. So, to the late, the great Louis Gossett Jr., may you rest in peace, sir, and much love to you.
He's a legendary talent.
Yes, sir. Shout out to him. Let's move on into the next thing. Let's go to previously on.
Oh, they're doing the previously thing. Do it again. Previously.
All right. Last week was a pretty fun episode, and I'm quite sure Eddie's got something to embarrass the hell out of us from the last episode. Let's see what Eddie picks.
To be honest with you, it's not doing it for me.
Hey! All right. So that's your rating, huh? You fucking losers. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you don't do it?
I wasn't saying all that.
You're a heel.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like, let me throw this up
I
here.
think
Take
the
this.
only thing that
Take
really
that.
caught my
Right.
attention, and God forgive me for this one, was that gentleman's teeth.
Yo.
Like I kept zoning into his mouth. Like,
Damn.
that
That was a nervous chuckle from me.
I do want to defend Iris on another point. The dude's teeth made me put my sandwich down. And I waited till after the documentary to finish eating.
Wrong. You guys are wrong.
I had to wait till after the documentary to finish eating.
Healthcare isn't free.
I'm not gonna
Preventive
lie,
care
I
for
literally
medical
wanted
dental
to
isn't
get
free.
his information just so I could send him that purple toothpaste.
Mm.
No,
That's all I get.
It's not that simple. Damn.
It's not many moments that I'm not prideful about, but that and the fact that you clipped it up and brought it back, I would like to apologize to the general public and that gentleman, whom probably it's hard for him to keep up his hygiene. These two people, they're monsters. What do you want? I can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Hit me up on IG and I got you, son. I got you on the dental.
There you go, Iris.
Yo. Woo. All right. Move on.
More money, more money, more money.
That could be taken so many different ways, but it's time to so of course, you know what I mean, we gotta take it, you know what I mean, box office mojo. Let's talk about specifics. Let's get down to the gritty of nitties, the nitties into the gritties. And coming in at number 5 is a film I still don't know what it is. Immaculate brings in $3.2 million.
It's a horror movie.
Oh.
With nuns.
Bringing his gross domestic total up to $11.1 million. Yo, shout out to the nuns and all the horror that they have brought to the world. Kung Fu Panda 4 comes in at number 4, bringing in $10.3 million. Kung Fu Panda 4's gross domestic total is up to $151 million. Shout out to Disney Universal Pictures for knocking it out the park again. Number 3 in the box office is holding strong. Dune Part 2. They're staying in there, $11.3 million. Bringing this gross domestic total up to $252 million. I think it might have just broken even at this point because they spent a ridiculous amount of money on this movie. But shout out to Warner Brothers for another knock out the park hit. A film that people had no confidence that it could actually be done right. Still hasn't been done right, but we still like to watch it. All right, number 2 in the box office is one of our titular favorites from last week, maybe. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, $15.5 million. Bringing its gross domestic total up to $73.2 million. Congratulations to Ghostbusters. But the reason why number 1 is number 1 is because when the big dogs come on in the park, they show you what the game is about. That's cute. You did some little Ghostbustery stuff. Hey, y'all was in the desert. That was cute. You know what I mean? Cartoon pandas. I feel you, my G. Nuns, y'all thinks y'all gangster. Cool. But guess what? Big dogs. You know what I'm saying? We talking about 60, 70, 80-year-old Godzilla, maybe even more than that. I don't even know. Godzilla is almost like Jesus. You feel me? This nigga pre-existed before existed. You know what I mean? Godzilla, King Kong, $80 million first weekend. Huh? Stomping all over my birthday weekend, getting people out to the theaters, busting up big numbers. We haven't even gotten firmly into the spring yet. It has been shit outside. You understand? Raining. It's been dreary. And like Godzilla and Kong is out here busting up the theaters. Shout out to them. Don't have a bucket like Dune for you to stick your dick into. Still did bigger numbers. First weekend, killing it. How y'all feel?
I get with you.
It made sense.
I mean,
that was an ugly bucket. That was. I don't know what the thought process behind that was. But.
Yeah, it depends on. It depends on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say. All right, we're gonna move on to our next segment. Man, let's get to our first. Wait a minute. Are these new 60 and outs?
The Remy one is the one that's been circulating, and then that was Iris's that's been circulating. So nothing new since those.
Okay. Do you want to play them, or did you want to hold?
Well, yeah, we because Iris's didn't get played on the show last week. We played Iris, or we played the one with Remy. Just in case people miss it on social media.
Let's go.
Hey guys, this is your girl Iris on another 60 and out of a Netflix original, Damsel, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Angela Bassett, and Sharon Aghdashloo. Our protagonist, who is being put into an arranged marriage, thinks she's doing it for her people. Once she finally gets to this magical land that seems to be as gorgeous as it is, but grass isn't really that green on the other side. It's very go girl, positive storyline. I did enjoy the movie. Could have been better. So if I have to rate this movie, I would definitely give it a catch it on streaming. I'm not saying you're missing out on anything, but it's good if it's there. If you have nothing else to watch, put it on so you guys can catch this super cute movie on Netflix. Thanks for joining me, your girl Iris, for another Real Reviews 60 and Out. Besos. Catch me and the rest of my people of Real Reviews every Thursday at 8 p.m. at vvclife.com.
Yay!
I think I'm getting a little better.
Fire! Killed it. All right. Time for our throwback film of the week. Does anybody know what it is? This we talked about it. We talked about it at the beginning. I wish I had more time to look it up and look for the trailer, but why not get right into it? Let me stop playing. All right, let's get to the business.
My name is Robert Hawkins. Approximately 7 hours ago, something attacked the city. You found this. If you're watching this, then you know more about it than I do. Hello? Beth? Beth, where are you?
There's nothing to do for me.
Ooh, Lordy Jesus. These white folk in New York just don't know how to act. So anyway, this is a love story, horror movie, found footage film. There are so many different things just meat smashed into this beef patty of a new subgenre of film. It kicked off an entire frenzy of shitty films after it by it having just a new style, taking this is the first lo-fi blockbuster. You know what I mean? The camera isn't top tier. The shaky, and then even down to like stitched together storytelling, because it's found footage. How do I explain this? A group of kids, guys and girls. A gentleman is being hired to work for a mysterious corporation in Japan. All right. Now, that's what you know about on the surface level. Cloverfield has 2 levels to it. It has the surface stuff that it tells you in the film and in the trailer, and then it has a seedy undercurrent that is all over the internet, that and really comprises of like 15 or 20 sub websites of fake companies that are based in the movie. There are random YouTube videos. There are like sub websites with pictures. If you could get all types of information about the past of the characters, about how some of the main characters are connected to the tragedy, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. So it is also, Cloverfield was also highly regarded for its unique marketing strategy, and it just went over the top and creating this cult following, because people that were enamored by the film, you know, if you decide to do any level of research, there's a rabbit hole you could go down and you could spend hours in. And it is, as a person that did do that, I had a blast with it, and it was kind of scary because it almost kind of felt real to a certain extent. But you know, there's a group of white kids. One of them is the leader of the friendship circle. Essentially, gets a job somewhere else. He finally kind of connects with somebody that he had been wanting to connect with pretty much his whole life. But because he was leaving town, you know, I mean, they kind of had a moment like right the day before he left town. And they end up throwing him a going away party because once again, he's going to be like this young VP in this Japanese company, and he's leaving town. So they're like saying goodbye. But the girl that he had a moment with is coming with another dude, which I thought was weird. And then like this whole situation happens. But in the background, somehow a big, gigantic thing that is undefined. Shout out to them for never defining what it is. You never really find out. And I think that's what adds to the terror of this film, is because you are literally visually in the seat with the characters. You're physically in the seat with the characters because everything's shaking and moving, and you don't, it's like you're terrified because you don't really know what the hell's going on. And what the fuck am I reviewing this shit for? Let me shut the fuck up, Jay. So anyway, highs and lows, man. What am I doing? I'm getting into a review shit. Eddie, you know what I mean? Initial impressions when you saw the trailer.
Initial impressions?
Iris was ready to check us. She was ready to check us. Look at her face.
I was like, I'm ready. Come on, let's go.
Skip the whole initial impressions. Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, so my initial impression, I was actually very excited to see it. Like you said, the market and everything was just so, it was limited, and it made you go to the site if you wanted to find out more. It just kind of just gave you that one moment of the head of the Statue of Liberty being thrown into the city, and their found footage scene in there, and that was it for the most part. And so after the success of Blair Witch Project's found footage, and then they combined it with some type of big apocalyptic moment, maybe, I was super excited. I wanted to know what we were gonna get.
Iris.
Initial impressions. I want to say I really didn't have any, because during the time when the movie came out, I was busy doing other stuff that were important to my career. You know, school related stuff. No, it's like work and school related stuff. Really?
What the fuck? You can't go out and watch a movie? What the fuck? Was you in jail?
No, I was busy studying and trying to succeed in life. So I didn't really have an initial impression on it. I didn't really see anything of it until it actually was already out of theaters and you were able to see it on TV. And so I didn't really have any like, oh, let's go see this. None of that. So this was definitely
a dope date night movie, but you gotta have a big screen TV. You can't watch this on a low ass screen because you can't see shit on a low ass screen.
It was dark too.
It was
super dark.
Yeah. It's not helping.
For real. I'm so excited about this shit. I really kind of want to go first, but I don't want to be disrespectful. So, like, is any one of you want to go first, Eddie or Iris? You know what I mean? How y'all want to do this?
Well, I want to apologize because I actually didn't get to rewatch it like I had hoped. So I just have the memories from back in 2008 when I caught it in theaters. So
Mhm.
I don't really want to say too much about it. But from
Okay.
what I remember, I really thought that it was like you said, it was the first major budget, low budget. You know what I'm saying? Low budget
Mhm.
looking, or lo-fi, I'm sorry. It was major budget lo-fi, and I thought it was done well, and even though they didn't show you much, the sound effects were actually made me feel like it was gory, even though it wasn't as visual as some of the gory stuff we get today, and I thought it was a crazy ride. The best thing about it, in my opinion, like you said, is they didn't show that's one of my biggest highs. They didn't actually never identify what it was. You got glimpses and you saw things coming from it, but you never knew exactly what was. And the mystery and the chaos and running around with them was just selling it an experience the whole time, because you never get a moment to just, if you did take that moment, you was probably gonna die, and you felt that they made you feel like, yeah, don't stop, don't be stupid, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things. I actually didn't have any lows. I because it was found footage, I liked the way it was pieced together, and I didn't have any real issues with it. I thought it was, they executed it perfectly. Everything from, and all of the visuals, the effects, everything. I just thought that they just really gave you a crazy experience, and I didn't really need much more than that, because, in my opinion, found footage is allowed to be choppy, messy, and just, it doesn't have to complete everything, because, like, it's supposed to be. We found this, and this is all of the story that we got. You know what I mean? So I loved it.
Awesome. Iris, let's rock and roll.
Yes, yes. So highs, I would have to say I definitely agree with what Eddie was saying. Like, because the whole purpose of the movie was to be choppy, because it is found footage. The Everything blended together so well in the movie. And you really feel like on certain parts, like if you're there, or if like you're playing a video game and you're like looking through the person's eyes on what they're doing in each and every one of the scenes. The only low I do have with it is that, even though the whole point of it is, hey, this is found footage, it's supposed to be choppy and all over the place, it does mess with your eyes and make you feel nauseous. Like, now that was my only no. Like, it made me feel so nauseous trying to watch it. Um, but I loved the effects. I loved how the mystery of, you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's a terrorist attack or what. You don't find out until like the very end. And even when you find out what it is, it's like, okay, where did this come from? It just happened and started out of nowhere. Um, so I definitely enjoyed the movie. It just made me a little nauseous. Other than that, yeah, I would say those are my highs and my lows for it.
All right, all right. So, I am going to now fan out this in the theater. I damn near was scared to watch it, because as a manager of the theater, it elicited so many emotions with so many people. Like, there would literally be, I had customers come to the front counter, I want my money back. Like, they would, and then people earling and like, and me having to personally deal with it, because as a manager, you got to be the one to tell them F off. Like, you know what I'm saying? You paid for it. You 45 minutes into this motherfucker talking about getting my money back. Nah, nigga, you didn't scenes enough. You know what I mean? If you had came in the first 5 minutes or the first minute and a half and, found out it was some, at the time, gay porking scene, I probably would have had to give you a refund. But, because that was a more conservative America at that time. But now, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm like, after you done seen halfway through the movie, no, I'm not giving you your bread back. Anyway, the lo-fi-ness of it is a character in the film. It sets the tone. You having this first person, view of the situation. And the thing I loved about it is that each character was, that first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the movie where they're like all gathered together at this house party. It's boring, but also it's essential for you to understand motivations of characters. As a person that enjoys films, I have to admit that there were certain laws, but it was purposeful laws. And you need to be set up to forget about everything that's coming. At the beginning, it's a beautiful love story. You know what I'm saying? The friends are being supportive. There's libations everywhere. We're partying. And it goes on for so long. If you are like me that just forget shit, I get so into the characters in the moment, and the one doofus ass friend snitching and saying a whole bunch of stuff, and the girls is doing it. Yo, he was going nuts on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Supposed best friend. And you see this love thing happen. I don't even want to call it a triangle, but you see it, and we all having our reminiscent moments of, yeah, been there before, buddy. Yep, it's not gonna go well for you tonight. And then they stomp off and go their different directions, and the consoling happens, and then like right when you're supposed to go into the second act of the love story film, and you totally forgot this horror, baby, boosh, and shit going on. What the fuck is going on? It's like, that is how they take you right into some shit, and you are sucked into a nightmare that is so beautifully orchestrated, man. Like, yes, dumb decisions are being made, but I assume at this point in my life, seeing so many films, that white people just don't know what to do with themselves. That's it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yep, I'm assuming this is how white people get down, because if it was niggas, this movie would have gone so differently. So differently. You know what I mean? If it was the Negro experience. So, we get locked into this journey, and it's just this beautiful blossoming flower of terror after terror. And it's not, and this isn't, I need 15,000 chainsaws. Let me bring in some they brought in some supernatural element, not supernatural. They brought in alien and fantasy elements, but it was very grounded. It was very, very simplistic. It was very much like everything made sense. You got your big terror, and then there are smaller terrors that you are not expecting. There are some there, and then you have the natural terror. Hey, a literal city is being torn apart. There is military taking action. There is obviously the governmental kind of reality of, if a situation like this really happened, hey man, we're gonna have to cut a finger off to save the rest of the body. The foot gotta go. We're gonna have to cut up. If you watch the film, you'll understand what I'm saying. And anybody that is within the vicinity of that finger, thumb, or foot, well, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to help as much as we can. We'll try to contain what we can, but there are so many things that are happening. I mean, there are nuanced moments where like somebody's head explodes, and it happens in a second, and they are just like, da, 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 da. And you're like, wait a minute, whoa. You're trying to tell the movie, slow the fuck down. What the fuck was just, and they're literally telling you, we don't have time. And you're like, no, we got time. Go the fuck back. And you don't. Shit happens. You got to go along with it. And then there's another scene, and shit starts happening, and it keeps happening. And this is the pièce de la résistance, is that the ending, delicious creme brulee of a fuck you ending. It was so, if you're waiting for the sun to shine and smiles and then the hug embrace, and we're gonna remember this day, and turn this into a barbecue and hot dog day, fuck no. That movie ends with this delicious I love endings like that. I love that. And I know Hollywood was like, no, bro, you can't just end it like this. I know the executives was arguing. Come on, bro, Hamsky, we can't do this. You got to give people something. Fuck you. And it literally has you leaving the theater going, what did I really, every time, and I've seen it 1,000 times, I'm still like, what the fuck? That's how good the movie is to me, is that it sends me back to the internet to go back down a rabbit hole that I've already been, to go, what the fuck did I miss? Did I miss something? It's beautiful. It's like sad, it's chaotic, but it's truly a masterpiece of filmmaking. You know what I mean? Even you're watching it and you're like, how did they make this? You know, there's so many things that are going on. There's the writing level of genius. There's the visual level of genius. There's the acting. Yo, these corny ass actors, they sold that shit to a certain extent. I mean, that's crazy. It's a genius in the script, but it's stupidity in the script. But I feel like it's purposeful idiot, because when you're in shock, you know, like the great setup, that first 20 minutes really sets you up for an hour and a half of stupidity. And you're going along with it because you kind of understand these idiots. I just spent it's like watching Friends. Like, Friends is just dumb. Them niggas is dumb as shit. And it was like a whole movie with some Friends characters, and they just, man. But even there's points where, let's just say, some of y'all would go, just leave. Great. Niggas did that. Didn't work out. Fuck. You know what I mean? Then it's like, all right, got to do the other thing. You know what I mean? So at this point, it's like, whatever. But in the end, nothing really matters. So, if I were to say what any things that didn't work out well, like, what I want, it's a debate on, do I want the characters to be smarter or make more common sense decisions? And part of me is like, nah, man, like, I kind of like the stupidity the way it is. You know what I mean? And am I really just expecting too much? Because if I'm in love, would I not risk it all for one more kiss, for your embrace? Because, you know what I mean? Like, would you not risk it all for the one you love? Or would you just go, bitch, I'll meet another one of you, nigga. Clickety-clack. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be clickety-clack. Take my baby and be like, I got my child. I'm good. I love you. I'm out.
See what I'm saying?
I will remember you. I'll see you when I get up there.
You know what I mean?
I'm worried about is the safety of my child.
Right. She'll celebrate you when she got the rose late at night in the room. You know what I mean? Little celebratory squirt off. So, like, yeah, I get it, man. So, I mean, I would do the same. So, anyway, let's get
Hold on. I do want to add, though, a lot of times I'm always talking about how characters are written stupid and it bothers me. But in this case, they weren't ever bright. So it made sense. We saw how selfish or tunnel vision they could be, how they didn't get the big picture. And so when they were thrown in the situation, it just made sense that they didn't know how to react to anything, and everything was just like one bad decision after another, but it was consistent. All these other movies will give you a genius character, then dumb them down to help the story move along. These guys were just privileged and clueless from the jump.
Right. And I'm like really trying to, it's just it's something beautiful that you have to watch if you can stomach it, if you can deal with the shaky cam, if you can deal with a mild amount of gore. It's not a lot. It's a very, very mild amount of gore. I think it's just a great movie. Let's get to reviewing this because we got a whole nother show to go to. Whole nother parts of the show to go to. Is it a classic? Good watch, catch on streaming, not doing it for me. Is it oh hell no? Or if you ever show me this again, I will. All right, Iris, let's make it quick. What is it? What we got?
For me, it's a good watch. I think it is a good watch. I very, very much enjoyed the movie. Aside from the nausea. But yes, I do consider this a very good watch, and I think the way the movie was done, the stupidity of it is what made it great.
Yeah, I am with you on that. All right, Eddie, you know what I'm saying? Is it a classic good watch? Catch on streaming, not doing them for me. Is it a or slap it on up?
Listen, this took 3 genres and fused them together well, and then just basically started its own category of a bunch of movies trying to live up to it. So it's a classic for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna have to co-sign. This is an all-American classic. You know what I mean? You are definitely and this is perfect for Netflix and chill. It is perfect for date night. It is the perfect, you know what I'm saying? You lying next to your boo-boo, baby. I crawl through nails, baby. I'm never leaving you, baby. It's gonna be there, man. And then once it start getting scary, you know what I'm saying? Wop baba loo bop, but wop bam boom, baby. Like, let's get that thing going. You already know what I'm talking about. So anyway, it's time to get into. Sorry, dear. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said right.
Iris know what it's all about. Kicking this thing in a high gear. It's time for breaking news. All right. With that being said, let's get to some more beautiful educational advice from George Clooney, because my life wouldn't be complete unless I had this man giving me directions on how to live a better life.
Nothing from success, never. There's nothing you learn from success, you know. You learn everything from failing. And fear of failing is what holds people back from doing anything.
Yes.
And and when you don't try and you wake up at 65 years old, you're a lot angrier than if you'd failed. You're a lot, it's really easy to be 65 years old and go, I tried to do that, just couldn't do it. You'll really be mad if you go, I think I could have done that, but I didn't try.
Facts. George Clooney, what the fuck does that have to do with movies, nigga? Yo, stop smoking weed before this. I said I need movie stuff. You're not giving me movie stuff. All right, Coppola, can you do better?
On television, if you see a movie, it looks like a movie, even though it's coming in on television. So what's the difference? I thought a lot about this, and like in writing, the basic unit is the sentence. If you write a really good sentence and then combine it with another sentence and another sentence, eventually you get a great paragraph. And if you continue, you will have a great piece of prose literature. The cinema, the basic unit is the shot. And the shot is a very interesting thing because it's not like in television, the basic unit is the event, the coverage of the event. So the shot is a very interesting thing because a shot can be a whole sentence. In other words, you can have a shot of a courthouse, and that says to the audience, it's here, and then we go inside and we have a story. But if the courthouse has the shadow of a man on a gallows, then it's that one shot is a whole sentence, and it's saying, this is where we are, a place where there sometimes is injustice. So the shot has the ability, like the sentence is in literature, the shot has the ability to be this wonderful thing, and then much more, if you take 2 shots that have nothing to do with each other and put them together, you get a meaning that neither had. For example, if you have the woman is tied on the railroad tracks, the early filmmakers learned, and then you cut to a speeding locomotive that's wherever it is, the audience immediately feels frightened because they feel the woman is in danger. So we have the magic of montage, where if you take a great shot and put it together with another shot, you can get a meaning, and we learned much of this from Eisenstein, we can get a meaning that neither one is a kind of magic, a kind of alchemy. So cinema is an art form in which the shot is the primary unit, and that by using either a continuity of shot or montage in which shots do, as in Eisenstein, comparisons, or you look at the rich, you look at the poor, you look at the rich people eating caviar, you look at the poor people having no bread, struggling for a loaf of bread. So the cinema has this incredible power because it's broken down into this tiny unit. If you take water and you break it down to its molecules, you can make maybe oxygen, hydrogen, and oxygen peroxide or something. But if you break it down into its protons, neutrons, and electrons, you can make anything. And that's what cinema, that's what the shot gives you.
You didn't have to speak for a minute and a half. You really could have just, the last line, you could have just said that, and you could have saved us the whole entire video, because he went way around Robin Hood's barn and then came back. But I want to get you guys' opinions about this. Iris, as a person who enjoys cinema and TV, do you agree that television is more simplistic? The courthouse is just the courthouse, and then you go inside and the story continues. But cinema has the combination of elements to give it a more cinematic feel. Is that how do you experience TV versus movie?
I agree to an extent, because I believe it varies on what you're watching. Because I have seen shows where it is a multitude of events that build out the cinema that you're watching. And I mean the TV show that you're watching. Like sometimes when they have like live audience type TV shows, that I feel, hey, no, it's the whole thing. It's just about the event that's going on. Yes, that's different. But for TV shows that, hey, it's not a live audience, it's different scenes and different shots and things that they have to break down and then piece it together for that particular episode, is similar to cinema.
Love it. I love it.
So the only difference, it's just on a different scale, where a movie can be anywhere from like 2 hours now to 3 hours long, where on TV shows, we have to try and piece all of this together for it to fit on an hour block at Thursday night at 8 p.m.
And commercials. So technically,
exactly, and commercials. So not even an hour, because so more like 45 minutes. So we have to create this whole lavish episode and keep our viewers intrigued and fit it into that little block. Don't get me wrong, like cinema takes, making big movies that, are made for theater and stuff like that, they take a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, just visually, like Dune. There's a lot of visual in that movie. But I think the amazingness that it takes to make something so visual and piece it all together so that we can fill a 45-minute block, I think shows more talent and amazingness than, we got to make a movie, but hey, we got like 2-3 years to make it.
For sure. Let me jump in. I want to give Eddie an opportunity because I don't want to stay on this forever. Eddie, can you break it down from a director's standpoint? Is he making sense? Is he cuckoo out of his Cocoa Puffs? Like, how you feel?
I think at one point in time it did make sense, but I think now the roles are reversed. I think now if you find you go back, we're always saying something would have been better as a TV show, because TV started giving you a cinematic feel and trying to draw you out with not just flat out putting a story out there, but giving you scenes, building up characters, giving you this, and then the TV series ends up giving you a lot of what you get from the shot from cinema. Cinema has movies have a smaller time frame to get that story out, and so now I feel it's reversed the role. You do get visuals, but you get now, and the standard of what people will accept is different. So the cinemas now is just like, let's just get this story told, let's cut it up to get it, make sure we don't bore people. And now in television, you're getting the reverse. You're getting the beautiful shots, the beautiful storytelling, the building up of the characters, and combining all that for a masterpiece to give you a better experience.
Yeah. And I also, from my perspective, what he was trying to, his point lends to how I feel about a lot of indie films. A lot of indie films are, we got to show the police station because this is a cop and he locking a dude up. So they'll just do like a picture of a police station right into whatever. There's no art in it. You know what I mean? It's like they tell the story based on the basics of there's not a lot of B-roll. They don't really say, every shot is like right here. It's like the guy and then the girl and then having a conversation is this and is that. There's no poetry. It's like basic storytelling when it comes down to a lot of indie guys. And because I guess there's so much stress for them to just do it because they think it's such an impossible task. So it's just like, if we could just get these guys together and then just shoot instead of saying the film is going to happen, how am I going to be a great storyteller? They're just doing it. They're not trying to be storytellers. And I think that in the past, because you got to remember, this guy is fucking old as shit. TV has evolved immensely. TV back in the 80s and the 90s when I was a kid was very much like Golden Girls. Love the shit out of Golden Girls. But when you watch it, it's the outside of the house. It's not a video shot. That's a picture. It's just like the outside. The next thing you know, you in the living room or like wherever the scene is set, it's in the kitchen or in the living room. They got their little outside area and the bedrooms. That's pretty much the whole show. You know what I mean? And it's like pretty much standard set shot that what's going to happen. They're going to fuss with each other. They're going to come busting through the door and then they're going to sit on the couch. And then that's where most of the interactivity is going to go. One's going to get up, walk out the door. And then, they're always going to say the same thing. Girl, I'm going to cook dinner. All right, go out here. Oh, I'm going to go out on the patio and get some sun. And then the conversation is going to move to whatever. Very simplistic storytelling. But now if you were to do in 2024, you're doing that. They're not going to be as simplistic. It's going to be very artful. It's not going to be, I put you into this room with these 4 women. It's going to be, let me tell you the story of how they all grew up. And then how did they get into this place? Well, how were they able to build their kinship? Because now television has more of a cinematic approach to everything. You know what I mean? Because the budgets are there because they're seeing that shit, man, we making more money on TV shows than we are making movies. So why not put the budget in place and let them go ham? Because the better the storytelling, the longer people are going to watch. I.e., yeah, right. Dad Panther, you up in the house. What's up, player? But tying it all up, just saying that the necessity for great storytelling has pushed the industry to invest more into filmmaking so that the art of the storytelling is being exponentially increased. Oh my God, I'm watching Shogun right now. It is more cinematic than any movie I've seen. Like, I mean, just the shots and the detail and the costumes and the acting is second to none, man. Beautiful. Like, so anyway, I just thought that was something great to have him come in and talk about, even though he was kind of long-winded. I definitely wanted my man Eddie to shine, but it doesn't always happen. So anyway, no, just mess with you. All right. Let's see if somebody, like Iris was the one getting it in today, dog. She really ready. She came to play. You need to get sick more often, nigga.
We're talking about really, which was easy, to be honest, was I never thought about Batman. It's always Bruce Wayne. Who's Bruce Wayne? You start with that.
Could you tell me which of these guys is Bruce Wayne?
Well, I'm not sure.
He witnesses the murder of his parents. That's a lot to start with, especially the Frank Miller approach, which is what we took. And also determining with Tim that he was so not cool, kind of odd. An odd dude.
You know the truth? I don't think I've ever been in this room before.
That scene wasn't even there. That was me when we were working on it. I said, he probably has never been in this room. Also, it's probably cold, kind of damp, nervous about this date, And finding those spots to be funny, which was not there. Where's this funny, More people have asked me about it than I've even volunteered talking about it. So people make a bigger deal out of this. But it was really, really, really hard. Like physically hard. It took me a long time to realize when I just did the Flash. I don't know how stupid I could be. I was training to be really fit, and I was training. One day, Jack Nicholson walked by me. We were just starting to shoot, and I was kind of working on this bag, and I had been training to get fit. And he walks by me and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, Yeah, I was just working out. He goes, what are you doing that for? I didn't have an answer for him. He just walked off and went to the trailer. I approached it totally wrong. It's better to be real small and little and thin inside the thing. You can.
So I love this. I love hearing actors talk about the thought process going into creating characters. That was something I always thought was very unique about that Batman, is that he approached it from Batman is normally approached from one or two ways. Normally you don't approach it both, meaning that you don't want to do a movie where you got two separate guys because the film is going to feel off balance. Or it's going to feel like you're trying to tell two different stories at the same time. You are either the person is Batman, sometimes without a mask, or is Bruce Wayne that wears a mask. So like it was beautiful to see his approach to, he's always Bruce Wayne. Batman is just a mask. It's just a representation. It's a representation of his pain and his revenge. But when you see Christopher Nolan's version, he's really selling you on a concept of Bruce Wayne not kills Batman, but he sheds Bruce Wayne and becomes Batman, and then uses Bruce Wayne as a mask. The Bruce Wayne is the mask, but he's always Batman. Everywhere he goes, he's analyzing everything. He's, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not how the other one was approached. It's like he's walking around the world, falling in love, you know, trying to fit in or trying to find his place in the world, even though he feels like a fish out of water. But I also look at that as a sign of the times. The sign of the times in the 80s was all of our greats were always trying to portray regular people. They always trying, it was always about getting the everyday man to connect with the character and fall in love with the character. And now in 2024, it's everybody's fantasizing. Everybody wants to be the super whatever. Nobody wants to be a regular guy anymore. So, you know, film has been about fantasy fulfillment now versus mimicking real life or trying to attach fantasy to real life, if that makes sense. Anybody want to have opinions, throw in? I'm just rambling. You know what I mean? Y'all, real for real.
Yeah, we know.
Iris, you came ready to go. Go ahead.
Yeah. With me in regards to it, I didn't really see his. I mean, I understand what you're saying in regards to his approach. That hey, his approach to it is like, hey, he's trying to be a regular person who just wears a mask. And for me, I still feel it was reversed. Like, he is always Batman, and he is trying to force himself to be this regular person. Because when he is Batman, he can really be who he wants to be. So, like, of course he's awkward. Of course he's odd with people and unsure of himself. Because who am I without the mask on my face?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I if I'm not Batman? I have to be this playboy, you know, rich guy who, saw my parents murdered, but I grew up to be okay. Nah, that's not realistic. When you go through a traumatizing situation like that, you know, it's just not realistic. It's either you got to go to freaking therapy for the rest of your life, okay, or you grow up like him, trying to be normal in the human world, and the only way you can be who you really want to be is when you throw on this mask.
Okay. Dad Panther, what are you thinking?
Dad
All
Panther
right.
didn't have any thoughts.
Eddie?
The only thing I was really thinking is that when you said it was like you're thinking of the times, we did spend a lot of time with the action hero was always it kind of molded us away from the way they did Batman, because this super badass was always trying to find his way back into normal life, and then somebody come fuck it up, and now I got to show you I'm a badass again, and that trend kind of just expanded. So now it's always like, you know, I'm the hero pretending to be normal, and I think we were conditioned based on the way the action hero evolved over the 90s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you look at John Wick, man, John Wick ain't trying to go back to a regular life. He was pretty much like, I just fucking want revenge and I don't give a fuck how y'all feel or what happens to me or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I think they tried to do it the traditional way for the first two movies. And then after that, the people was just like, they just want to see the fighting. So just
you kind of forget what his motivation was.
You forget what his motivation.
Yeah, it was real heavy in the first one, and then it leaked into the second one. But after that, it's like now it's just they're coming for him. He's coming for them. It's not about what brought him back in the first place until the very end of the fourth one.
Right. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the Equalizer. He's never look. His whole life is this. I am this. It doesn't matter whether I'm in a new place that I want to settle down and just be with the whites, or whether I'm living in the hood. I'm going to be a badass. It's just something I turn on and off like a light switch. Mm-hmm. That's not how we looked at things from the 80s. That was definitely not. I don't give a fuck if you was talking about Commando. It was like you said, hey, man, I'm out of my business. I'm living in the woods with my little daughter. And then y'all come fucking with me. Cool. The badass is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? But all I really want is to just be left alone. But I'm going to be extraordinary. Or even if you talk about Die Hard, you know what I mean? This is just... Die Hard, I feel like it was the beginning of the redefining of the action star, because it was a regular guy that didn't have any special tactics. He was just a streetwise police officer that we all know. A lot of police officers aren't that streetwise. My nigga, you wouldn't be able to survive in an airport if terrorists took that bitch over and was blowing shit up. You would not be the nigga solving all of these problems. I love you. I appreciate you for doing your job, but don't think you're that guy. So anyway, let's move on to something a little funny.
Thought the world of Brando's acting. After he died, this woman kept leaving notes for me in various hotels. I called the number and she said, look, I've got a thing Marlon Brando gave me to give to you. I'll just drop it off for you. So there was a letter. She said, her and Marlon were lifetime friends. One of the things that bound them together was that she made ice cream and he loved ice cream. And he liked to eat ice cream and watch movies. She'd bring it over and they'd watch a movie together. One of his recent favorite movies to watch was The Insider. I think she estimated he'd watched it 6 or 7 times. He picked up a book and he said, when I die, take this book to Russell Crowe. It was the American poet, Kavanaugh, and it was inscribed to Marlon as a birthday present from Jack Nicholson in the early 70s.
Wow.
She'd said to him, why don't you just reach out? He talks about you in interviews. He said, I don't want to disappoint him. Being the age I am now, I know what he's talking about.
You and Marlon played Jor-El in different Superman films.
I did that on purpose.
Ooh, Lord. The weirdness that is Hollywood, that a man doesn't feel confident enough to reach out to another guy because he doesn't want to disrupt an image of a person that person might have of him. Whereas you could have a great relationship, it may not have to have anything to do with you having some fictitious imagery for somebody to attach themselves to. I think that was pretty interesting. Dad Panther, notes? Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Contraption called a bat cycle. And I used to ride a motorcycle back and forth to work and so on, and I was okay on the bat cycle. But poor Bert, not so good, because he was in the sidecar. And you see, Batman would push a little button and give an order, whatever, and that sidecar was then rigged, we thought, to go in a certain direction and end up at a certain point. It very seldom did that. So Bert would be screaming and white-knuckled. I'd push the button and he would careen away from the bat cycle, and he never knew. I didn't know where he was going to end up. I mean, one time I think he went over a pier into the water. There was another time he went into, there was a chicken farm, and he went into where the chickens lay there. It was terrible. But Bert was very brave about these things. He was naive.
That's fucked up, dog. Yeah. That's fucked up.
I think the worst part is that he said that they never knew, but you never hear him say that we tried to fix him, tried justice. It's just like we just never knew, but they still tried it.
And they said he was naive, as if maybe they told him, "Hey, we're gonna fix it." And he was like, "We're gonna fix it." He was a real sidekick for real. Robin was the official sidekick. Damn,
it was.
Yeah. Oh Lordy, baby.
What does that mean?
Well, yeah, I got it from I was rehearsing a play when I was a very young actor, and I had to come in this scene. It was a stage play. I'm behind the flats, waiting to open the door. There was an improvised scene between a husband and wife going on inside, and then they got carried away and they started throwing things, and he threw a chair, and it lodged in the doorway, and I went to open the door, and I just got my head round, and I said, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't get in." He said, "What do you mean?" There's a chair there. He said to me, "Use the difficulty." I said, what do you mean? He said, "Well, if it's a comedy, fall over it. If it's a drama, pick it up and smash it." He said, "Use the difficulty." Now, I took that into my own life. You ask my children. They say, directly, anything bad happens, they go, "We've got to use the difficulty. How can we work? What can we get out of this? You know? Use the difficulty." And so there's never anything so bad that you cannot use that difficulty. If you can use it 0.25% to your advantage, you're ahead. You didn't let it get you down, you know?
I feel like if you think back to a lot of your favorite films and these really signature moments, a lot of those were just moments of difficulty or mistakes. Things that happen. Somebody blurted something out, or somebody hit. They might have tripped over something or whatever, and they kept it in the film because those are human moments. These are the things that we connect to that make a film great. Is it being human and not always being, ironed out or made perfect. And I thought that was, I was like, man, this is really great for the show. Eddie, like this, is that kind of conversation common on when you're even just talking about with other directors and producers, or when you're making your own films? Is that something that is a commonality? Are you really telling people to use the difficulty? Is that something you kind of stray away from? How do you approach it?
I mean, I approach it. I'm not using those exact words, but a lot of people struggle with the creativity. They visualize it should be done a certain way, and then we have to work with what we got. And I spend a lot of time trying to help them see how we can cheat it. You don't need to fully establish it, or you just needs to be suggestive, or you only need to show this much, and then attach it with this much. Like he was saying about the different scenes to tell, the different shots to suggest or tell a story. So we do have conversations like that all the time. I'm not as poetic. But I'm always trying to say, I'm always using the phrase, we can find a way to cheat it. It doesn't have to be 100%. We can find a way to sell it as it is.
That's what's up. Dad Panther, notes? All right, awesome.
Had one request for Spider-Man No Way Home, but don't tell Sylvester Stallone. Willem Dafoe's return as Green Goblin in Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the best parts of the movie. And that's because the actor made it clear that he wanted to get in on the action.
To do this physical stuff was important to me. In fact, one of the first things I said to John and Amy, basically when they pitched it to me before there was even a script, was, listen, I don't want to just pop in there as a cameo or just fill in close-ups. I want to do the action because that's fun for me.
According to Slash Film, Willem Dafoe did about as many stunts on Spider-Man No Way Home as he did 19 years earlier on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Not bad considering he was in his 40s then, but his 60s now. The Oscar nominee explained,
"It's really impossible to add any integrity or any fun to the character if you don't participate in these things, because all that action stuff informs your relationship to the characters in the story, and also it makes you earn your right to play the character in a funny way."
Okay, Alex, but didn't you mention Sylvester Stallone at the beginning of this video? Indeed I did, Alex. Thank you for asking. And the reason I did is because Stallone recently went on record telling actors not to do their own stunts. Stallone just went through his 7th back surgery resulting from a stunt gone wrong on The Expendables. So can someone please keep an eye on Willem Dafoe?
I feel like that ending was a little rigged. You know what I'm saying? I knew that was meant to be funny or to kind of be charming, but I agree with Willem Dafoe. I feel like if you're not willing to commit all the way for the character, how can you really sell it? I mean, that's just me. Now, some people don't need action. I mean, some people really I feel like certain method actors, I feel like them being fully immersed in it helps them, give a pure thing. Some people just dial it up. But I feel like people like William Dafoe, I've seen him in so many different types of films. To me, he is one of the most diverse actors I've seen. I've seen him play tons and tons and tons of different stuff. So shout out to you. All right. So Iris, did you have anything you want to throw in?
No, not really. I think you covered it. I mean, I 100% agree when it comes to certain action roles like that. If you're not at least willing to take part of the responsibility of some of your stunts, now I'm not saying set your ass on fire, but I'm saying at least, get a little roughed up, because I feel like you can really sell it and really connect with the character that you're portraying if you're at least willing to get a little dirty, a little hurt,
Word. No, definitely. All righty then. Dad Panther, you good? All righty then. Moving right along.
The craziest movie of the year, and I'm about to tell you why you should be excited. This is a singular event. It's called Megalopolis, written, directed, and produced by Francis Ford Coppola using $120 million of his own money that he does not care.
I'm scared off the break. I see Francis Ford Coppola, written, directed, and produced. Ass bag. Wait a minute. What is that? Why are you pointing at your hat, sir? What's going on?
His hat says A24. That's got me scared.
That's a fact. I don't even know what to think, but let's continue. I'm sorry.
Care if he gets back. Most of Francis Ford Coppola's wealth does not come from The Godfather. It comes from his winery empire, and he sold a substantial portion of that to finance this film. He recently screened the movie to 300 friends, family, and potential distributors, and they said it's unflinching in how batshit crazy it is. Another person said that it has zero commercial prospects. Now, Coppola is a guy who has gone bankrupt a couple of times from movies that didn't work out, so when asked about this, he said, "I couldn't care less about the financial impact whatsoever. It means nothing to me." This man is 84 years old and all of his family is already rich. He does not care about the money, and that's why it's exciting. We never get movies of this magnitude from somebody who simply has something they feel they need.
Let me ask you guys this question. You know what I mean? Pardon me, Mr. White Guy. Is this a cultural thing? And is it because it would be seen as irresponsible if a black director went and took 120 million and flushed it down the toilet?
Hell yeah, that's fucking stupid.
It would be seen as career ending. Nobody would ever want to deal with you ever again. You know what I mean? To take a risk like that. But this guy is just like, see, he's unflinching and he's so brave and we've got to go see it, even though everybody says it's a piece of shit. It's like, it would not. American Society of Magical Negroes brought in $56,000 last week. It was a risk. You don't see not one person saying, hey, at least they tried something different. Hey, they pushed the line. Hey, it was risky. You know what? Hoorah for trying something different. If it was the American Society of White People, it would be, oh man, this is that risky stuff. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Like, yeah, he did blackface and did a great job. Yeah. Man, really kind of pushing the line. But you flip it and it's not the same. And I watched this entire video and I was bothered the entire time. And it's not that I give a fuck whether a white guy want to flush $120 million down the toilet for a film. Honestly, I do respect that to a certain extent, but not the way he's talking about it. I feel like once you get, man, I'm going to sound old, but I understand a man's need to self-fulfill at the ending part of his life and understanding that fuck everybody. I just want to do what the fuck I want to do. That I respect. But this whole video could have been made and you wouldn't have to reference the money one time. All he had to say is Francis Ford Coppola is in the twilight of his years, used his own money and to direct something that he believed in completely. This is something he's been wanting to do for 20 or 30 years. But he's being praised because he's going to essentially, if he was black, shoot himself in the foot and ruin his potential career. Because what white person would go and give another black person 120 million if they took their own money and flushed this shit? You don't give a fuck about your money. You know you don't give a fuck about mine. That would be it. But guess what? That's going to happen to Francis Ford Coppola. Everybody's going to go, don't worry about it, Francis. I'll give you another 120 million. Hoorah, brother. Great job. Oh, yay. Look, he so believes in his vision. Fuck out of here. Anyway, that kind of made me upset. Does anybody want to say something different? Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm open to being completely wrong and out of place, please.
No,
to my esteemed panel.
You're not wrong in this situation. Every time I end up talking to somebody trying to get financing, the first thing they want to know is, how do I know that you can handle me giving you this much money? What have you worked on? What was the budget? How can I know that you're going to be able to take my money and flip it? That is their primary focus talking to me. But like you said, when they talk, these other people, oh, it's bold, it's challenging. You're not wrong. They come to certain people and it's a bold move and they want to get behind it and celebrate them. Then they come to other people like, hey, I just don't feel comfortable with the situation. I can't just give money away.
Right. And even if we talk about every other medium of art, it could be some white kid in New York whose daddy and mommy give him a flat and he's got 20-foot ceilings and he's in there with his fucking wrap around his neck and fucking underwear on and nothing else, throwing paint on a big ass canvas and people going, oh. It doesn't mean shit. He'll come up with some stupid ass name for it, and people will love it, fall over it, champagne and and they'll take him around everywhere. He can be a big fucking asshole, and people will love him for it. But you have to be in any other color outside of Cockney, and you have to create the fucking Sistine Chapel every fucking time you create some work. And you're still going to be undervalued like a motherfucker. And then you still got to play the game. You can't be a dope artist that's black and be a fucking complete asshole. Fuck no. Niggas got to be docile. Niggas got to be kiss assy. Niggas got to be embracing a whole bunch of shit they don't want to. Even if you're an artist, bro, you can be Beyonce doing tremendous work right now and still receive crazy backlash. You can step into a genre just to pay respect. If you look at the whole Beyonce rollout, she's not doing nothing but paying respect to country music singers from all walks of life. And she still catches shit just because she doesn't fit with people believe she should fit. Even though rising tide lifts all boats. Guess how many more black people are listening to country music just because Beyonce turned up the dial? Let's be honest. Because we all know how streaming works. Country music, album, the album ends. Guess what happens after that? It automatically goes to more country music. So even if it's by mistake, people are going to discover new music just because she stepped into that space. But why can't she be respected the same way any other Dolly Parton or this person, that person? They can genre jump as much as they want to. Nobody says a fucking word. But anyway, who gives a fuck what my old fat ass says? Let's move on to the next thing.
26 years to realize this about Mr. Bean. So we all watched Mr. Bean growing up, and we all know Mr. Bean is a pretty weird character. But I always thought he was just a funny, weird guy who might be a bit insane, and that's it. But as it turns out, the answer to his weird and awkward behavior has been right in front of our nose the entire time. And I never realized. So this is the intro to every Mr. Bean episode. He appears to be falling through a light on the face of the earth, as if he was being beamed on earth. He doesn't know how normal people act, and he always wears the same jacket with the exact same tie, because he doesn't know humans change clothes, because Mr. Bean is an alien, and he is acting so weird the entire time, because he learns how to be human. In the animated series Double Trouble episode, he is even taken inside a spacecraft with aliens who look exactly like him and even have their own plushy toys. This would explain everything.
Cool.
Wow. That's probably one of the few ones that I can get behind. You mute, JS.
I say you fuck with Mr. Bean like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. Unless Dad Panther has something to say, or Iris, we can move on. Iris, did you want to jump in and express your love?
We can move on.
For centuries, there was harmony. The Titans were the guardians of nature, and the great apes became the protectors of humanity.
All right. Let's get to the business at hand. Big, gigantic creatures. I unfortunately did not get the opportunity to enjoy this film. I was broke most of this week, and I was partying very hard for my birthday, so I did not get a chance to, enjoy this film. However, I'm going to, I will just bow out and gracefully allow my executive producer to take over to talk about the monsters.
All right, so before we get started, I do want to break down for those people who may be just jumping into this universe. Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures have actually been building this up for some years. This is their version of the MCU. They call it the Monsterverse, or the Godzilla Monsterverse, or the Godzilla Verse. You can find multiple forums or links to go down and research everything. I'm gonna give you the titles that they have definitely put in specifically for this arc, but there's a lot of other stuff in between that you can still connect, and this all makes sense. But starting back with Kong Skull Island, back in 2017, and then we end up getting Godzilla King of Monsters in 2019, and then it led to, we got the series that's on like Monarch Legacy of Monsters end up coming out on Apple TV. Actually, I skipped one. I'm sorry. We got Godzilla versus Kong in 2021. And that basically led us up to this point. But in between that, Apple TV has Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which gives you more details about the monsters, their purpose on the earth, how long they've been around, their relationship, the powers they have, who, how they use each other and their territory, and how the whole chain works. And then it all led up to, now we have Godzilla, Kong, the new empire. After they battled in the last one, they've come together to save the world together on this one, which I thought was going to happen in the last one. But anyway, so initial impressions. Iris, let's start with you. What was your initial impression when you saw this trailer?
It kind of gave me like a Transformer vibe, to be honest with that was my initial impression. Like, oh yay, more big things fighting and destroying our planet. That was basically the first thing that popped into my head. And because I didn't really see the Godzilla versus Kong, I didn't know exactly like who is considered like, our antagonist. So going into this movie, I wasn't sure what to expect. So I can't say I didn't have high expectations, but I didn't have low expectations either. I was more of a clean slate because I didn't know what was gonna happen.
You was just reporting for duty, sir. Ready to review.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Dad Panther, how about you? Initial impression, please, sir.
Initially, I've been able to catch everything except for the Apple series, which is on the list. So I kind of was anticipating this battle and the quality for what it was. So just kind of ready to be there and see what's going on.
That's what's up. For me, I knew that this was coming. They were working up to it. And I actually did not have any excitement for it. I didn't like Godzilla versus Kong too much. And I felt like this was just forced because they had already put so much into it. So for me, my initial impression was like, well, Here we go. We gotta watch it. We gotta review it. All right. So who wants to get into highs and lows first?
Not it.
I'll go into it. So I'll go with the lows. The lows, the storyline is lacking. There's things in the storyline that just don't make sense at a movie, like Lingo said before, where the buildup has been coming for so long. So it should be more consistency in the story, and even some of the characters I felt should have got more love than what they had. Some of the other drawbacks I felt about it was the pacing, like trying to figure out what the pace was. And then once you got into it, it had nice little pockets, but almost like a punch crashing into a building, the pacing would change again. And then probably the third thing I would say as a takeaway is the movie felt like it wanted to be in a few different places. And what I mean by that, it felt like it was new, then it felt like it was nostalgic, then it felt like it was other movies. There were things that the alert went off to me was this is that Pride Rock from the Lion King in the background? Does this feel like Jurassic Park right here? Does this feel like this other movie or this other show? The good things I would say was I did like how clean the movie was. I love the music. I felt like it was kind of a little bit of Guardian of the Galaxy. I felt like it was like 80s retro. It felt like, yeah, we're gonna uck up a bunch of buildings. Because at some point, the dad in me was like, this isn't responsible. Like I'm in my head, I'm thinking a death toll. I'm thinking a tsunami. I'm thinking all this stuff at some point you just have to enjoy the movie and go with it. And once you did, it was fun. I love the facial expressions from Kong and even Godzilla, where they were almost like kind of like, you know, without words, similar to Planet of the Apes and Lord of the Rings. Like the CG and acting was that good. Standalone acting that I got was from the girl who takes her role again as being the voice of Khan for the most part. And little dude, yes, right there, a little dude, little Kong. You knew I was gonna say that. Little Kong was, I don't know what his real name is, but I'm intrigued to see what they do with this character moving forward. But to see it in a movie theater where people were cheering and clapping, I thought it was pretty cool. It felt like summer. It felt like a big movie. I hate to sound like Nicole Kidman, but movies movies are better in the theater.
Nicole Kidman, she might appreciate that nod. All right, Iris, you want to go ahead and give your highs and lows?
Sure. So in regards to my lows, I would have to agree. The biggest thing that I want to say that bothered me was more like the writing. I know they try to throw in like a couple of like comedy lines here, but it was just so stale, you know. Um, I just the writing really needed help on some parts. Um, that was, I would have to say, was my biggest low. Um, but my highs in regards to this movie was I enjoyed how bright it was. And as Ron mentioned, like, it gave you kind of bits and pieces, like different vibes of other movies. And like I stated before, like even with just watching the trailer, the vibe that I got was like, oh, Transformers. Like that's what I saw. And also a vibe of Jurassic Park. Um, and for me, that's a high because it's at least something that I recognize. So I was like, oh, okay, like those are movies I like, so I can vibe with this. Um, in regards to like the effects and just how bright the movie was, I'm glad it wasn't like a super dark movie. It was, the coloring and the lighting, everything was so bright, even though most of the movie is, CGI. Um, but I have to say that I really enjoyed that. And even though, as Ron mentioned, there is a lot of destruction, and like I could only imagine the death toll. That's why I was like, haha, people are dying. No, let me stop. But excuse me. In a lot of like the original Godzilla movies, um, and even Kong movies, like you see that destruction of the cities that Godzilla's and Kong's, and so I like that they kept that at least in this. And because I hadn't really seen all of the other movies that are a part of this universe, I didn't feel lost. They gave us a little bit of backstory to at least introduce things. So I was like, oh, okay, that's where that character came from, and that's the connection between these people. So even though I was new to the movie, I didn't feel lost because hey, we're they're piggybacking off of something else, and if you didn't see it, you're gonna be lost in this one. And just to go back to my lows, I feel like there was action, but I feel like the storyline itself was a little lacking. There were certain things that I wish they would have dove more into. Um, and I feel like the storyline itself, a lot of the scenes were very predictable on what was going to happen. Um, but yeah, those were like the biggest things for me in regards to low. Not that I didn't enjoy the movie, but I just feel like it could have been better, with certain things. Um, yeah, but that's mostly, how it's I've gone in with zero expectations anyway.
Okay, that's what's up.
Awesome.
Like, somebody like that.
Your internet was going in and out. We weren't sure if you were done or not. You good? You good?
Oh, really? It didn't show. It didn't show that way on my side. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I
That's
didn't
what
even
we
notice.
weren't sure if you're done. I don't want to cut you off. You still got a little bit more you want to say.
No, that was really it for me because I didn't really have any expectations. So I'm just glad I wasn't bored.
Okay,
I would say
that's
that
what's up.
that was my biggest thing. Like, oh, okay, at least there was, it got to the point.
So for me, I'm gonna start with the lows. For me, like I said, I didn't like the Godzilla versus Kong, and also in the previous films, I wasn't too happy. The writing was a little weak, and they kept trying to make it a little bit more serious and create these arcs and these characters and these stories that we knew ultimately didn't matter because it's about Godzilla and the rest of the monsters that end up coming out. We know that that's what we're coming to see. That's what we're building up in every single film. But they kept trying to give us this human element and these epic stories, and it wasn't really working for me. And they started off with weak writing too, just to set up moments again that where people are forcing situations. They got Kong running from these creatures, and he runs up on a cliff that has like all kinds of rocky, mountainous, atmospheric things that we know he can scale damn near anything. So I don't know why he acted like he was stuck. But they did it just so he can turn around and seem like he was cornered. But then the rest of the movie, there's nothing he can't scale. There's nothing he can't climb. King with Kong, and he's running from these things, and I just thought it was a little ridiculous. So they had moments like in the beginning, I was very worried, but then all of a sudden the movie kind of it hits a switch, and that's where I start wanting to go into my highs. The director, his name is Adam Wingard. He was born in 1982, and he was making sure that he was throwing in a lot of moments of if Goonies had a $200 million budget, or if Land Before Time was live action, or if Never Ending Story was remade. He was trying to, in my opinion, combine all these different stories in a different epic way, leading to this point. And I started joining the ride, and then he started dropping these '80s music, and it started to become like, hey, we've been building this up to get to this monster movie, and they just minimize the human element. Like the Dad Panther was saying, if you were actually keeping a body count, you're gonna walk out of that movie in tears. But he stopped worrying about that. I mean, this guy was obviously a true Godzilla fan, because if you look at the classic films, Godzilla's biggest battles always happen in the city, because that was part of the set, was part of the character of them being epic and destroying stuff. And so instead of them taking this Middle Earth, which is saving the world from an epic battle, they made sure they found a way to bring that shit back out to Earth, and they were just destroying everything. Godzilla, no matter where he walked, no matter if his intentions were good or not, people were dying, but they weren't showing you that, but you knew it. You knew it. You saw the cars on the bridge, people were going. You see the buildings collapsing. It's just a crazy body count. But what they did was they stopped trying to give us a story about the humans. They just focused on the one girl that had the connection with Kong, and then they just decided, hey, we're gonna give you what you finally been waiting for. A high budget, relentless. Let's just let these monsters, these kaijus, go crazy like the video game Rampage. And that's basically what I felt like. This director was a super fan of all of that, and he was throwing it all in there, and it was giving you all kinds of crazy. And I just got into it, and I started loving it. And the less story they tried to give us, just the more crazy, the more fighting, the more I loved it. And the only story that really mattered was the young girl who had the connection with Kong from Skull Island, and she spoke the language. That story was important to me. Everybody else's story was mute. There was they were making sure they were putting comedic elements, and I love that. If I did have a couple more lows where there were some scenes that were rushed and forced. They didn't really try and make it make sense. But again, like once you buckle in for the ride of like, it is what it is, let's just get these monsters and go crazy, then all that stuff you really don't want to take too much time explaining it anyway. Like the way they made the hand for Kong, they just say, oh, I got something that may work, and you never say to make any tweaks or work on it, even though it was made for something else. All of a sudden, it just drops right on, fits right in, gives him exactly what he needs, and let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a lot of flaws, weakness with the writing. But I think this director was like, hey, we've given you all these extra serious films, even though it's all about the monsters. This film was all about the monsters. So I was very appreciative of it. Yes, when you coming back?
You need me? I'm sorry. No. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. I'm gonna need just the sound effects and all, or if you wanted to give any input on what you heard before we start rating it, but I was definitely need your sound effects.
Thank you. Most definitely, the number one thing is when you were introing this, I, being ignorant, did not know there was a connection with all of these different films. So first of all, thank you for doing that. Like you really. Now you're making me want to go back and watch all of these because I did not know this was an Avengers level event in Monster World. So like, there's a reason why the glove of the universe is in this film is because it's all together. Like the other thing I want to say is you are the first person that said, and I've watched a few reviews that they were saying like you were just saying like, this is just fun. Is going with it. You actually sold me on the concept of wanting to see it, even though I was definitely willing to see it just because of the show. But I wasn't begrudging, but I wasn't like, yo, I gotta go see this. Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, all right, if I could get the time after the birthday, if I'm not too drunk with a hangover, let's get it in, get it out. And I just, I was just broke. I ain't gonna lie. But I just paid for my AMC movie pass again. So I'm going to see Monkey Man Saturday. And I might go back if I have time Sunday to go and see Godzilla, maybe on Sunday or something like that. So we'll see. But anyway, let's get back to the business. Let's see. Y'all know how we doing it. Review time. Is it a classic? Good watch, catch on streaming. Is it not doing it for me? Is it? Oh, hell no. Oh, if you ever show me this ever again, I will. You. All right, let's start with Iris, the queen. Are we slapping somebody this week? Is it oh hell nah? Where we going, baby? Tell me what's up.
No, I have to say it was a good watch. Like I said before, other than the fact of like even Eddie was saying, I love that he agreed with what I was saying. There were points of weak writing within the movie, but I liked that it was like things that I could relate to from growing up. Like I got the Transformer vibe, the Jurassic vibe, and I didn't even think of like Land Before Time. Like I didn't even think of that one. And I just seen the movie and it just made me feel like nostalgic a little bit. And I love that it wasn't like a human point of view too much. It was all about, the creatures and the monsters and the animals and the connection. And all about that, and the movie really it was a lot of action and got to the point. So yeah, I would definitely say this was a good watch, and I would go see it again.
Mr. Panther, sir.
For this one, I would agree. I would say it is a good watch. It feels like a movie that you get popcorn with and just kind of hang out and sit on the couch and like, oh, did you see what he just did? Again, there was times where Kong to me looked like a dude you would see off 183rd with the white beard. He just looked like a dude that you'll sit there. He's got a jungle juice in his hand. He's some pickled eggs, and he's ready to scrap. So I just thought it was a good movie.
Y'all, that's Miami Gardens.
Good music. I thought they did a really good job with the characters, the human characters being minimum, and the flaw was any character that shined more than that young girl. I felt like that was the issue there. That should have been the match right there. But other than that, yeah, I would say good watch. And to Iris's point, you don't have to watch all that other stuff. Like, I think you'll still enjoy this just because it's an action movie. And it's interesting to hear people's perspective, whether like you're a super fan like AB or something. But I just think it's got that nice balance.
I love that pickled egg and the jungle juice.
You got to go to Green, so you gotta get you some.
Yeah. That was deep.
After school, right there. Shoot.
That was deep. Like, yeah, he's definitely a film writer. All right, Eddie, where we at with it? What's your review, boss?
Yeah, so I love this film a lot actually, but it did have the little things that had me rolling my eyes. So I'm gonna say it's a good watch. I definitely recommend everybody give it a shot.
Wow.
Also, I do have a difference of opinion though. I don't suggest you watch all of them because, like I said in the beginning, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of Monsters, they were trying so hard to give you such a serious human story mixed in with learning or bonding with these monsters. But I do think if you're going to watch this one, you should watch Godzilla versus Kong, because that introduces us to this whole Middle Earth that thing that I referenced that is a big factor in this film now. And just so it all makes sense of where that shit came from. So you'd be like, well, when did we get this motherfucker? You know, you should definitely go back and watch that.
Not gonna lie, I was like, what the fuck, Middle Earth? Where is this?
Man, just imagine the people that haven't watched it, and I'm looking at the trailer going,
yeah, you saw them going down into that. You're like, what is this shit?
And then you got like the Mayan looking niggas, and then the regular motherfucker in the school. You like, are they time traveling? Is this like Kong and Godzilla? Whatever. All right, everybody, watch the film. Tell us your opinions in the comment section. Please. We would love to hear more from you. It's time for trailers. All right, before we go any further, I would like to say this particular he said he'll be right back. Okay, cool. So what I'm about to show is a trailer from a film that I saw online. Hold on, let me see that. There you go. It's a trailer from a film I saw online from somebody on Instagram. This is an independent film. I forgot the director's name, but I've directly spoken to this director. He said the film is in post-production now and it's going to be released this summer. And he will give us the interview to talk about this film. It's called New Jack Fury. Jesus Christ, buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be wild.
What you got for me, Playboy?
Dylan Campbell is an honest cop in a dishonest city.
I gotta make the world a better place.
You know you make my world a better place.
But when he loses his job,
I'm gonna need your badge and gun. You're done.
And his girl is taken by a ruthless kingpin.
You know it was me, Silk Wine, that had you plucked from the streets.
He desperately seeks out the only tool in the city that can help get her back.
Help me, bro! Stop it! Chicken!
Oh.
Moron! Lizard lips!
Yo, sign me up. Sign me up already.
To help rescue the love of his life.
I'm gonna save my friend's girlfriend. She was kidnapped tonight.
Oh, that's so sweet. I saved coupons.
Get ready for a visual whirl fine-ass girls, and juicy Jerry curls. In new Jack Theory.
Listen, if this was in theory,
I just need to know the South Syndicate resides. Are you serious? Even my great grandma's great grandson know that. Wouldn't that be you?
Yeah, let me get the DVD of that. Let me get the DVD.
That shit gonna be stupid.
Let me get the DVD. Put it in the theater. I'll buy it.
So the guy at the end is Ace Vane, and if you guys are really like on social media like that, he's the guy that makes these cartoons using like old like superhero cartoons, and then he'll make all these ridiculous skits.
Voiceover.
Yeah, he does them for the Justice League and stuff. Batman, you let him talk to you like that? Oh, I thought you were reddish. Yeah,
So like it was on his page that I saw the trailer, and I immediately was like, yo, this is the most dope. And he tagged the director, and I'm like, oh man, the director's got 6,000 followers. Cool, he might actually answer me. So I went right into that nigga. Yo, bro, I need that interview, bro. I need to talk to you about like this film. The trailer had me laughing so hard. It mixes so many different things. So first of all, there's this new retro wave sound.
Yep.
But there's also the look of the new retro wave that had me going, I'm not used to black people having new retro wave in their shit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So that one. Then the 70s vibe. I was like, oh my. So now this is a black exploitation vibe. And then you got the crazy pimp shit. Like I love it's over the top. It's not taking itself serious. But this is the other part. There's so much green screen on this motherfucker, and it looks dope. Like, and it's hard to see what's real and what's green screen. Like, was this a real shot or was this a green screen shot? And it's like I've never seen wide shots with green screen on some indie shit. So I've got a million questions for this director. I love this. This idea is crazy. Iris, what are you feeling?
I cannot wait to watch it. I thought it was hilarious. I love like the parody that you could see throughout the movie. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be hilarious, and can't wait to get that interview for sure.
Facts. Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. I thought when you showed it to me before, I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And just the wittiness and the quips of the writing, I know that there's going to be so many gems we can pull from it. I can't wait to see it.
So all right, so what's gonna happen is hopefully when it comes out, I would love to be on the red carpet for this. I am excited. Now I would like to make one more point before we move on. That one of the characters is named Michael Trapston.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. Go check him out. He's been doing, when I seen that's when I lost Michael Trapston has been doing music with Michael Jackson, like Billie Jean type shit. The beats are smooth. He actually did a movie. You can go check it out. He actually did a movie that kind of made you think of some of those 80 movies back in the day, like The Last Dragon type shit. So it was really cool to see him in there. Yeah, to see him in there and see there's some other faces that we saw in that trailer. So I'm like, they got a nice little budget to get some of these faces that we've seen in other projects. So
yeah, that was my thing. I was gonna, the thing I was gonna say is Michael Trapston is perfect to be like the new indie movie like character that's just like in all of the indie films. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, it would be lit if he was to build a career. Just give me 15 stacks. I'll come through and do some wild shit. You know what I mean? He just go through a bunch of films. I would love to see that. He looked like he was so iconic. Just seeing him I lost my shit too. I was like, oh shit, this nigga, oh my God. Like I didn't know he did other movies. I thought this was like his debut. I was like, it's about time. Welcome to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I was excited. So let me chill. I'm excited. We all gotta go see the movie. And I pray to God that this nigga don't blow up and then I can't get the interview. I would love, honestly, I didn't pitch it to him yet. But hopefully if I get to interview him, I'll be like, yo, can we do a Black Watch Theater with this shit? Like, let's charge niggas and everybody come together. I don't know. We can split the money. You can get all the money. Shit, let us be on the red car. I just want to be a part of this shit. Yeah. This shit is crazy. All right. Babes with big vaginas, obviously. Y'all keep watching. Let's go.
Are you good, dude? I need you to check my shit.
Oh my God, you're in labor. I
I don't know the medical term for this, but your vagina looks like it's yawning. Like.
Wait, hold up.
Hey, I got you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today I saw a baby being born.
I'm so proud of you.
Don't touch me! Oh my God!
I'm Eda.
Clyde.
Dawn, crisis. I've had sex.
I was on my period. So you can't get pregnant on your period.
Girl,
stop.
Girl, you stop. We went to the same school. We learned the same shit.
Hey, how are ya? Am I pregnant?
Yeah. Single mom. She may not keep the baby choice. Oh, right. Single.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I have your back no matter what.
You think I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does the fetus look healthy? Because I didn't know I was pregnant. I've had weed, shrooms, alcohol, coffee, and unpasteurized cheese.
You did not tell me how sexy it is to be pregnant. Were you crazy horny?
Hey. You said you were going to be at all the appointments?
I have a family. I've been swamped.
Best friends get so screwed over in adulthood. You and me, we're family.
Bitch.
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 Feeling
the love, feeling the love, feeling the love.
Get down if you wanna get down. It's a new day. I'm scared of the decision I made, but it just feels like destiny, and this is Destiny's child.
Amniotic. Ready? It's a pretty big needle.
Oh, what? That's for my.
Yeah.
Cool. No, cool.
Okay. You ready?
Oh my God. Oh my God. How in the world?
I love that. I loved all of that. I don't think a lot of people get a chance to see women go through the birthing situation, the hair falling out, the horn, all that stuff. So more of that. Sign me up. You didn't know that?
Y'all got any questions? Y'all let me know.
I don't want to see this, but all right, yeah, but it's on the lineup, people. I get it. I'm riding out with the team. If the team says we do, this is what we do. All right.
Well, I want to warn you guys. If the girl who Alana Glazer, the white girl Glazer, if you haven't seen her, she wrote this one, and she used to be on Broad City, and then Broad City came back with a different version of Broad City, and then tap into Broad City. She had like 3 versions of this Broad City show. She was the writer to make me. So her humor is like it's a very niche market. So if you want to prepare yourself, you should go back and watch that. Otherwise, it's gonna be a wild ride.
I can't wait.
Got you. I can't wait. Eddie, I would like to make a clip of us watching this and let's put this out. Jared Carmichael's new
oh no.
Yep. Welcome home.
No. Secondhand embarrassment.
Oh my God. I've been just trying to maintain being truthful on camera.
This is not truth. This is narrative that will be edited. Those will all be choices. That's not truth.
I'm trying to self-Truman show myself.
There's public and private. And then there's masturbatorily public. We might need one more layer, actually. I'm revealing too much.
Being honest is cool until you have a reason to lie. I always wanted my father to be proud of me. What do you do? I'm a good driver. I'm just not like a good turner.
That'd be a part of driving.
Well,
one of the most important parts.
Now, when that came out, I reacted like someone died. It hurt my feelings. Mom basically said I was going to hell.
I didn't write the Bible. I don't think anybody's being hard on you. I think people are calling you to do better.
And Lord, I come to you, Gerard and I, take the desire from my son to be with
Is that Peaches? Fuck the pain away in the background?
Amen.
Amen.
I love you.
Okay.
It's not to be discussed on camera.
Yes, I bring in cameras, and yes, that's my way. And yes, I'm afraid to have these conversations without them. Let's just blow the shit wide open.
Wash the pain away.
Then you got your otters, hairy, chubby, somewhere between a twink and a bear.
He's like, what the fuck? I didn't want to notice.
Then you got the twunks. Some people call those muscular twinks.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I can tell you why his
know
daddy's
why
always
that.
upset though. His daddy's always saying because he got that Dallas Cowboys hat on, so that's why he's always upset. On top of some other things, but we ain't gonna get into that. Wow.
Yes and no for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the on Max. I saw it pop up. You know, he was brushing his teeth in his underwear, and I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me.
I saw the exchange between him and Tyler, the Creator, and it just was secondhand embarrassment. And I'm like, I don't think that's what I want to sign up for. Blah blah blah. Hours of that.
What you think, Jay?
I'm completely intrigued. First of all, I would like to say this should have never been done. I would like to say that first of all. I would like to say, Mr. Carmichael, you set gays back 50 years, okay? Like, there should be an injunction to get this shit taken off of the internet and off of television. You know what I mean? But Mr. Carmichael, I'm all in. You've got my complete and full attention. If you want to flush your life down the toilet with dollar store toilet paper, nigga, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do it like that guy in the video. This is bold. You know, even though everybody else is saying it's shit, we need to get into it.
This is bold. It's risky. It shouldn't happen. Oh my God, this is deliciously inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? This is just.
I'm not gonna lie. The way you say it like that, I think I'm gonna watch it now. I'm gonna watch it to go out there and support. And then I'm thinking about it now. Had this been somebody who was straight, I don't think the conversation comes out, because I don't think anyone cares necessarily. No disrespect to that artist, comedian or actor, but because of what it is, especially being brown people, I think we have it with a certain lens where we're like your phrase that you said was like, he's throwing his career away. Well, his career kind of was thrown away because he came out, and you have Wayne Brady who recently came out and certain things. So it's just like other people can enjoy that lifestyle. I don't see it any different than a more deep version of a reality show that we're just going to stereotype.
May I ask, is there anybody on this panel that actually thought Wayne Brady was straight at any point in time?
I know I didn't. Does Wayne Brady have to slap a motherfucker in here?
Maybe when he said that line.
No,
does Wayne Brady?
That's how a gay nigga would be gangster. Like, that was just. There are certain niggas that when I seen them for the first time, nigga, you gay, bro. Ain't no way around it. Now, I still love him as an actor. I still watch everything that he does, bro. I'm a huge Wayne Brady fan, but you would never sell me on the concept of you fucked the girl, bro. You fucked the girl? Okay, bro. All right, whatever.
Well, I can tell you that this show only has one episode up right now, so I don't know how many
at all.
I don't know how many or how often it's gonna drop, but if we're gonna do it, I'd rather wait until they're all up so we can just
I
intend it.
Yeah, facts. And now I'm only gonna disagree with the part that I was making fun to say he's flushing his career. Honestly, I think this is a genius fucking move. This is straight genius, because let me tell you something. He's gonna have social media on lock for the next 2 months. Every episode, niggas is going to go fucking nuts over this shit. First of all, black people don't like talking about gay shit. Black people don't want to start looking about gay shit. When you drag an entire black family into Hollywood about some gay shit, bruh, It's to the moon, Alex. The church is gonna go nuts. You're gonna start burning gay kids on the cross. Oh, it's going down,
Lord.
baby.
Oh, Lord.
It is going down, bro. Like this shit is gonna break apart the fabric of American society, bro. And I am like, congratulations, Carmichael. You are either gonna become a Hollywood megastar or a social pariah. Either way, it is gonna be. This is that high level.
There's so many undercovers already, black undercovers here in Atlanta that don't want to come out because of the way black people respond to. I think he might actually. Yeah, it's gonna cause. It's gonna cost weight. Some people are gonna be bold and want to come out and want to do what he's doing, and some people are gonna really have a negative reaction. But it's definitely gonna be on the under the limelight.
This is one of those moments in history that is forcing black people to have a conversation that we've been trying to avoid. This is going to force a forefront conversation, bro. It's never been. I'm honestly, tell me any TV show or a movie that dragged a celebrity's parents onto camera and was like, let's deal with my son coming out in real time. And me not being agreeing with it, and then having to have these conversations on camp. There's never been this before.
I've seen personally, yes, but you don't have to watch it. It's not the same as watching the Avengers Endgame and two male characters right there happen in front of your family, and now it's the discussion. You will see this trailer, and if that's not for you, that's not for you. If the actor's not for you, it's not for you. I think if you wanna watch it, you'll watch it, but I don't think it brings the conversation out.
Okay, so I agree with you on that part, but the part you're not understanding is that I'm not gonna say a majority, a large portion of the media is flooded with alternative lifestyle people whom are trying to find ways to normalize the discussion of gay straight relationships. This is a very Jared carries this appropriately and every episode delves into some shit, this gives an opportunity for them to clip this shit up, have discussions. You got to remember, we in a podcast era. Guess what the fuck we trying to do? Find something to talk about. Jared Carmichael coming out in his drawers as a black man, sleeping with 6 white dudes, and then going and kissing your black mama that don't want you to be gay, and going on vacation with your dad in her RV. Nigga, this is a this is a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? Or the recipe for greatness. Like, this could read this, and the whole concept of it being the Truman Show, without fighting. This doesn't seem like, I feel like this is weirdly counterculture, because now this isn't a scripted, let's set up the scene where 2 guys sit down and then there's a fight or some girls throwing drinks at each other. We're really dealing with real life issues, and there's no surface level bullshit with it. We're really HBO has always been great with having these very deep discussions and using content like this to bring the discussion to the forefront. Whether it was, what was that? Remember that you used to have a TV show about niggas having sex in a taxi cab, or it was like they would just meet people and be like, "Yeah, tell us how you fuck,"
or something like that.
Taxi cab confessions.
Yeah,
taxi cab, nigga. That.
Iris is gonna look that up later.
She like, wait a minute, hold up. Is it on
No,
Pornhub?
I'm good. I'm sorry, you guys. I hear y'all talking about all this. The only part I'm really stuck on is that toe sucking. I thought that was so fucking unnecessary, and that is the only image of this entire thing that I have stuck in my head.
Wait, that was in this?
Who you did it?
I did not see any of that shit.
Oh yeah, you. This
and
is
I didn't look away either. Wow, I missed that.
The thing is, I don't like it no matter what, whether it's heterosexual people doing it. I'm not.
All I want to do is suck your big toe.
But massages is one thing, but putting them things in your mouth when they're in your shoes, your feet sweat throughout the day. It's just fucking nasty and unhygienic. And that whole thing just threw me. Fuck this reality show. That's nasty. That's nasty. I don't give a shit.
Listen, if you get a pedicure, you wash it, you take care of your feet.
No,
that's what
you can have the most gorgeous feet in the world, but you walk on, but your feet are on the floor almost 24/7 unless you laying down.
There's also other parts of your body that's shoes. Might
And
not be as clean and
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I have a very big foot phobia, so that
Doctor Who trailer. Thank you.
Segue into a big black thing standing out.
Give me the loving.
Where did he come from? I don't know, he sort of popped up at the right moment. And then he spoke about time travel.
Ruby, you want to know my secret? I have the whole universe at my fingertips. And I'm all on my own. I'd love it if you came with me.
Who are you?
I'm the Doctor. It's called the TARDIS. It's a time and space machine.
Is it safe?
No idea.
What if I change history by stepping on a butterfly?
Well, that's not gonna happen, is it?
Oh, what's wrong?
With all my adventures, I've never seen anything like this before.
Oh my, Bridgerton! This place is completely...
Bridgerton.
Things seem to be turning more and more supernatural. Is that monster?
No, don't be silly. There's no such thing as monsters. They're just creatures you haven't met yet.
That's a monster.
There are powers beyond the universe, so vast. The whole world could slide into the pit. This is what we're trying to stop. I'm still alone. I need to know she'll be okay. You'll keep her safe? I will keep her safe. I promise.
It's taken me all this time to realize what I'm here to do. We're gonna save the world.
Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Time may change me, but I can't trace time.
All right.
No?
So,
I'm gonna watch it.
just wanted
I
to-
want to watch it.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but it's Nkuti Nakua. I love him. I was introduced to him back when he did Sex Education back on Netflix. I loved his character. He is hilarious. I'm just hoping in Disney Plus, since he is playing the new Doctor, that they're not trying to
Check all the boxes.
make him not try to persuade us that he's a straight man that falls in love with this white girl. Maybe bisexual, but not exactly heterosexual. Because his bubbly ness, I know this is like probably the stupidest thing to say, but I love his radiant gayness. I don't know what it is about
As long
him.
as he's not sucking on toes.
Yeah, as
I
long as
just,
he ain't
I just,
sucking on
I just need to plug that in. I'm sorry. I just need to plug that in. I just wanted to.
I do. I love him. I love his character.
Right.
And I'm excited to see this on Disney Plus to see how he portrays the Doctor, his version of it. Since we're
As
just
long
used
as-
to white people doing it all the time.
Right. As long as he's gay, so he can't be straight.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's too bubbly and just I don't know. He portrays like I said before, this radiant gayness about him that I love. It's just so, happy. So I can't see him as I don't know. I just can't see him as a, straight man Doctor. But I do. I love him as an actor. I do. I have a soft spot in my heart for him. He's one of my favorites.
Painful. All right, Dad Panther.
Doctor Who is one of those things in pop culture where it's up there as far as a long running show and been doing stuff, I believe BBC type of stuff. So to me, I've always wanted to jump into that universe because the concept is pretty cool. It's just, this will allow someone like me, a casual person, to watch a show that doesn't necessarily fall in order to begin with. So you don't have to watch the seasons in order if you don't want to. and it will help people dive back in and go look at other people who held the mantle of Doctor Who.
Thank you for that. I honestly thought it was the opposite. I thought is that it was a part of a ongoing story that was linear. But if it's not, and in each kind of section is something different, and I know they have different Doctor Who's, you know, but I did not know that they were all completely different from the last. So, Eddie,
I've actually never given Doctor Who a chance. I've always heard positive things, so I am going to give this a shot. See if it pulls me in.
And that is, Iris.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. I know there was a clip that they did that the reason there is a new Doctor Who is because there was a splitting of the Doctor Who prior, and he split and was like pulled from the other one, and this became the new Doctor Who. I'm not sure on the backstory on how the splitting happened or why it happened, because I'm fairly new to the whole Doctor Who story. But I'm gonna see if I can find the clip. I know I saw it, you know, on social media, but I'll see if I can find the clip so that we can at least share it. And that's supposed to be, I guess, like where he comes from. So I think that's interesting how they try to introduce this new Doctor, you know, for the Disney Plus streaming. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. All right, everybody kick them shout outs. Yo, any kind of last minute yada say before we get up out of here? Let's start with Iris. Make it quick. Let's get our shout outs going.
Oh, I have no shout out. Good night, and I love you guys. And you know, for everyone who's watching out there, you know, please continue to watch and spread the word that on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. You get to see us amazing people, you know, sprinkle that amazingness in your life.
Goddamn right. All right, Dad Panther.
I'm just going to say to, you know who I'm talking to. I love you from your head down to your toes. Everything in the middle. You have a great day.
His wife, guys. His wife.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
All right, Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin that moment. That was great, Dad Panther. So shout out to BBC fam. We got the retreat coming. Looking forward to that. Shout out to everybody who's rocking with Gamer Girl, the mag. You know, sales are we're getting. I get excited about every single sale, and I appreciate you guys. So you know, just keep it coming. Shout out to you guys. I'm glad that we show up and we do this thing. I love doing this every week, and I'm looking forward to keeping it going and growing the show.
Let's go. We will check y'all next week. JS1 and the squad. We are out.
No ticket.